On lights, camera, action. Hey everybody, welcome back. We have another chapter review here of Subtle Sound with none other than our favorite Maureen Stewart. So for those that don't know, we have been making our way downtown through the book, reading each chapter's notes, and we're almost done. Anyway, in all seriousness, Maureen Stewart, if this is your first time watching, I'm surprised, for one, because this is a weird place for you to kind of jump in the middle, but if you are, I do appreciate it nevertheless. But yeah, what we have today is another chapter with Maureen Stewart. So we actually are on chapter 15 today. It appears that I have the other chapters uploaded, at least as far as I can tell. There might have been like maybe chapter 6 I think was not showing up or something for some reason. I'm kind of getting like a little bit of a pixelated video. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So Maureen Stewart, in case you weren't aware, she is a very, very hip lady. I say that pretty much every day because every single day it's true. And actually, if anything, every single day it's getting truer. She was a Buddhist teacher in Cambridge. I actually, my good friend's from Boston, so he grew up, I think it was in South Cambridge. Shout out to DJ. He was in the Marvel podcast. It was me and him when we were talking about the MCU and the current state of the MC Union. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get this. If you haven't seen the other chapter reviews yet, I recommend checking them out. I think you'll find some value in them. I know I have. And yeah, just for those that aren't aware, we don't actually read them. This book, as they say, is Tom Riddled. I'd always wanted a book like that. It's just basically marked and highlighted the pretty meaningful parts, or at least the more meaningful parts, as from someone who previously read it. Her name was it was given to a Carolyn. WPHS. It's a local school. WPHS. Not West Point High School. It's from Pensacola, which is right in the area I'm living in. That's where I got this book from a book drop. And after reading like a little bit of it and seeing it was highlighted, I figured we should read it together. So we have this book now. When we finish up this book, we'll see how much time is left in the month. Depending on how much time is left, we looks like there's 28 chapters roughly. So maybe have like 4 or 5 days to fill between the conclusion of this book and the introduction and start of the autobiography of Malcolm X, just in time for Black Future Month. So what I'd recommend doing is, if you haven't read the book Malcolm X yet, we're going to be doing a lot more in detail with that book. It won't just be me reading Cliff Notes, and if it is, I'm going to be Tom Riddle in that case, and I'll let you guys all be Harry Potter instead of me being Harry Potter. I'll make sure you guys get the deep cuts with that one. That book is amazing, and it's going to change lives. It changed my life, and I'm excited for it to change yours. I think every book has the possibility of changing your life, honestly. Okay, so with all that long-winded introduction being said, I want to go ahead and show you both pages real quick. If this is your first time, you know, or if this isn't your first time, you know why I'm doing this. But if it is your first time, the reason I'm doing this is I want you guys to be able to pause it and read the page if you so wish. Okay, so peace of mind. First highlighted thing. If you do something for the sake of merit, there is no merit. The work you do inconspicuously that nobody ever knows you did is the work that really is the most meaningful. Getting a little beep. If you do something for the sake of merit, there is no merit. The work you do inconspicuously is the work that is most meaningful. What I need is like a little teeny thing to put notes in it myself. For Malcolm X, I'm going to be putting like little sticky pads in it, or little sticky notes, because I'm actually going to send that copy of that book. I need to send a copy of it to my aunt. She tried to say to me that she read Malcolm X, and I had to be like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then like the next day, I saw her at my little brother's bar mitzvah, and I was like, you didn't really read Malcolm X. Yeah, let's walk that back. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, I knew it. Anyway, don't be like my Aunt Leslie. Don't say you've read something or done something if you haven't. And if you do something for the sake of merit, there is no merit. The work you do inconspicuously that nobody ever knows about that you did is really the most meaningful. AKA, as my good friend Dwayne Michael Carter once said, also known as Little Tunchi, real G's move in silence like lasagna. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., Lil Wayne, aka Lil Tunchi. So always move in silence like lasagna. Next highlight area, there is no mind to fix, no fixed condition. We cannot put our mind in a little cubbyhole and say, there, now I have peace of mind. We all felt this yearning for inner calm, but, goes on to be highlighted, nobody can help us. We must do it for ourselves. We must face our own inner demons. Nobody can do that for us. That's deep. Deep cuts. I'm going to read that again. We have all felt a yearning for inner calm, but nobody can help us. We must do it for ourselves. We have to face our own inner demons. Nobody can do that for us. That's true, you know. It's like, if you're going through something right now, I mean, we all do from time to time. Even me personally, it's like I got some turmoil on my own end, where it's like I'm trying to make sense of some stuff and sort some stuff out on a personal level. I've probably gotten into it in some videos, but the point is that I don't really tell people that. I'm telling you this now because it's relevant to this chapter, but I really try and address all my issues on my own. And it's okay to ask for help, but I wouldn't ask for help by posting about it on Facebook or asking for help for like posting about it on Instagram. Like today I posted a reel talking about my audio, or it was like Audible stats. Audible had sent me something where it was like 2022, here's the books you read. And I posted that, but like nobody knew I was reading books. Like nobody knows except for you. And yeah, unless you're watching this video right now, you don't know, like people outside of myself and you, or you and I, they don't know this is happening because I don't go and post about it on social media. Because ultimately, if you're doing it for this, it's exactly, you get it. Anyway, here we go. Let's keep it moving here. So 74 first. Hold on. And when I'm kind of holding like that, I'm also looking at my screen to make sure that you can see it. And if there's like a part I can't see, that's why I sometimes move my fingers. Because I know if I can't see it, then how could you? So that's why sometimes I'll shift it around. Okay, first part here, it says, we are convinced that our way is the right way, and therefore that nobody else's way is the right way. And we so become anxious, ill at ease, angry, raising waves where there is no wind. As Mummon says in his commentary on the story of the gateless gate. We are convinced that our own way is the right way. Our way is the right way, and therefore nobody else's way is the right way. So we become anxious, ill at ease, angry, quote, raising waves where there is no wind, end quote. As Mummon says in his commentary on this story from the gateless gate. Goes on to say, oh, I have to go to work tomorrow. I wonder what my boss will say, and on and on. And it's highlighted, we use up so much of our life energy in this anxiety-producing mental activity, raising waves where there is no wind. Dogen gave some wonderful advice about thoughts arising in Zazen. It goes on, quote, when a thought arises, be awake to it. When you are awake to it, it'll disappear. After a long time, the associations are destroyed, and spontaneously there is coming to one. This is the secret of Zazen. When a thought arises, be awake to it. When we are awake to it, it'll disappear. After a long time, the associations are destroyed, and spontaneously there's a coming to one. This is the secret of Zazen. And I've mentioned it before, but when you're meditating or when you're sitting quietly and attempting to meditate or attempting to clear your mind, it's really important that I would recommend looking at guided meditations if needed on YouTube. And when you go to do it, you just close your eyes and just focus on your breath. You can never think about a past breath, and you can never think of a future breath. When you're focusing on your breath, the only thing you can focus on is your breath. Think about that. Next page. Life is suffering, the Buddha taught, because we want some permanency, some guarantee. If we let go of our desire and just follow a path of doing finite things in an infinite way, then ordinary becomes extraordinary. Secular is sacred. Prepping the food, washing the dishes, everything is a sacred act. Man, she's good. Life is suffering, the Buddha taught. We want some permanency, some guarantee. If we let go of this desire and just follow a path of doing finite things in an infinite way, then ordinary becomes extraordinary. Secular is sacred. Preparing the food, washing the dishes, everything is a sacred act. Rule 32. Enjoy the little things. Shout out to Zombieland. Someone told me she has been finding it very difficult to follow the 10 precepts. Of course, it is difficult to follow this path unswervingly, but the 3 fundamental precepts offer very simple, very clear directions. Refrain from bad acts, do good acts as much as possible, keep your mind pure and warm. Refrain from bad acts. Do good acts as much as possible. Keep your mind pure and warm. Think about that for a second. Refrain from bad acts. And do good acts as much as possible. Keep your mind pure and warm. When our minds are mushin, emptied out, cleared up, then we cannot hurt anyone. We cannot really act in an appropriate way because we feel our interrelatedness. God. Last page here. I'll tell y'all what, Maureen Stewart, even from the grave, you are teaching me a lot about life right now and a lot about everything, and I can't thank you enough. I hope, well, let's just say this. I know you're with us, Maureen. I know you're with us. All right, we keep on going here. This is the true Zen spirit, true Bodhisattva spirit. We are not here to grab something, to get something. Zen insight is not our awareness, but the Buddha's mind's awareness in us. Zen insight is not our awareness, but the Buddha's mind's awareness in us. Someone told me he was very embarrassed when complimented about his artwork. He became quite self-conscious and didn't know what to say. I told him, when somebody says to me, "You play the piano beautifully," I say, "Yes, I do. Thank you. I really play beautifully, but I don't play." Something plays me. The more we come to the condition of emptied out, cleared up, warmed up mind, the more easily we can let go of the self-consciousness that makes us denigrate ourselves or worry about seeming conceited. We can be glad it goes on to say, we can be glad, I can't even go on to the next part. Let me reread this because that's so good. When somebody says to me, "You play the piano beautifully," I say, "Yes, I do. Thank you. I really do play beautifully, but I don't play. Something plays me." The more we come to the condition of emptied out, cleared up, warmed up mind, the more easily we can let go of the self-conscious that makes us denigrate ourselves or worry about seeming conceited. Then it goes on to say, we can be glad we make something beautiful or play beautifully. We can be glad to share it with others and glad they like it. It is not conceited to say, "Yes, I play the piano beautifully." If I did not, after all the training, all the work, all the effort, it would be sad. And so it is with you. Each of you is the artist of your own life. Play your life beautifully. Hold your head up and be glad that you can offer what it is you have to offer freely. Man. How dare you, Maureen? Be so wise. A little bell hanging in the emptiness sings. Each one of us is hanging in the emptiness singing. Sometimes lover, sometimes wife, sometimes husband, sometimes artist, sometimes friend. Always with open, compassionate wisdom minds. You already know I'm going to have to read that last part again one more time. That was a lot. Is the last part of it. Okay. I'm just reading the whole last paragraph, or the whole last part. Okay. So I'm going to just show you exactly what I'm reading because I think this is worth even like screenshotting on your end. And if you just want to have this, like to screenshot it, I'd recommend doing that because like honestly, this is so well written and so well put that it's relevant nearly 34 years after the fact. It's this part right here. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm just going to read it regular pace. Someone told me he was embarrassed when he was complimented about his artwork. He became quite self-conscious and didn't know what to say. I told him, when somebody says to me, "You play the piano beautifully," I say, "Yes, I do. Thank you. I really do play beautifully, but I don't play. Something plays me." The more we come to the condition of the emptied out, cleared up, warmed up mind, the more easily we can let go of the self-consciousness that makes us denigrate ourselves or worry about seeming conceited. We can be glad that we can make something beautiful or play beautifully. We can be glad to share it with others and glad they like it. It is not conceited to say, "Yes, I play the piano beautifully." If I did not, after all the training, all the work, all the effort, it would be sad. And so it is with you. Each of you is the artist of your own life. Play it beautifully, hold your head up, and be glad that you can offer whatever it is you have to offer freely. A little bell hanging in the emptiness sings. Each one of us is hanging in the emptiness singing. Sometimes lover, sometimes wife, sometimes husband, sometimes artist, sometimes friend, always with open, compassionate wisdom minds. And that concludes chapter 15. Chapter 16, a little sneak preview there. No big deal. Something tells me it's going to be a big deal. But a little thread hanging there. Okay. About 22 minutes in. I don't want to keep you guys long because I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot to unpack with that chapter. But I don't think I need to tell you. Something tells me you already know. So what I'll do here, what time is it? 56 local. I'm going to (3 minutes). You're welcome to join me if you would like. If you don't want to meditate at this moment, that's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and back out of the video. But for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to observe the silence of the chi. Shout out to Uncle Tony for that one. So 3 minutes. Gonna wait just a second longer, so it'll be at the top of the hour by the time we finish. 3 minutes. Just focus on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. See you in 3 minutes. See you in 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Namaste. See you in the next one.